So I injured my elbow the other week, and then stupid me tried to play some tennis, made it a little bit worse, and I now haven't been playing music for like a week because guitar, piano, drums all have been um, not good. So as I'm trying to get back into these videos, I was like, well, what can I do that'll be interesting? And I'm a teacher by day, so I figured let's talk about like the first principles of music and do it like in a really simple but hopefully kind of entertaining way in a short video. So as far as I know, or from my perspective, there's three basic building blocks, right? There's rhythm, melody, and harmony. So rhythm is, kind of the heartbeat of the song, the speed. You hear people count 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and as a song is getting started, and then they go. So that's 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. You might hear my dog and my cat playing with each other in the background. So that's 4 beats, and that's what we would call common time, or 4/4 time. So that's why you hear that count all the time. It's very, very well represented in music. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a basic backbeat would be to take that same 4-beat bar or measure, which is kind of like the basic unit of writing a song, and replacing the even numbers with a higher note. So if you think of this as kind of the bass drum, the higher note or the higher sound would be the snare drum. 2, 3, 4. And then once we get that going, usually we'll add some subdivisions, usually on a hi-hat. And so once you get that going, that's kind of your basic backbeat. There's so much you can do with just that basic rhythm. So for instance, just keeping the basic backbeat, trap music of late has really kind of added this dimension of keeping that backbeat going, and rather than syncopating any of the kick and snare stuff, a lot of like patterns and rhythmic subdivisions happen in rapid succession on the hi-hat, like 2, 3, 4. Whereas traditionally more like rock, like popular music, rock, funk, pop, stuff like that, it would be the hi-hat that stays constant, and the kick and the snare might move around a little bit. 2, 3, 4. So a couple other very common patterns is like in all the way from disco to like electronic music is a basic backbeat, but we would call it 4 on the floor. So you still have the snare on the 3 and the 4, but the kick goes for all 4 of the beats. That gives that kind of regular thump that happens in a lot of music like that. So there's the basic building blocks of rhythm as I see it in modern popular music right now. And then melody would be the next thing that I would add on top of that, the next dimension. The melody is really the single note structure for something. So something that you could hum or sing along, that'd be a melody. So I'm going to do just a really simple one with just like 2 notes. So that's just 2 notes on top of the rhythm that creates a really simple melody. And what I'm doing with the melody, and what most music will do, is we'll take these 12 notes there that repeat going up and down on like a piano or a guitar or something like that, and we take a set of 7 of them. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That do to the do is 8 notes, starting with the happiest note in that scale, that set of notes, and goes all the way up to the next happy note, and then it would keep continuing, just going higher and lower in both directions. So that we would call that a key. So what I've done here is I've used the minor root inside of this set of notes. We could use the happy note, but I decided to use the sadder note. So would be the minor relative key. The major relative key would be the 2 notes, same rhythm and everything, just in a different part of the scale. So same 2 notes, we're just going to move it up to within the set of notes, and then we'll have the major sound. So that would sound like this. So major is happier, minor is sadder. So the next thing that I would add, which is going to bring some more context to that, would be harmony. So melody is just that single note at a time. A harmony would be multiple notes happening at the same time. So let's take a look at both that minor and that major part with both of those harmonies. 2, 3, 4. Now the major one. So if we take those two parts, it's really 4 notes that I'm singing and their harmonies. Let's make 2 different parts with those notes. So we've already got that part with the harmony. And let's start putting a structure around this now that we've got some harmony and some melody happening. So let's take that part and we'll add a second part that uses the major notes. But let's just change the rhythm up a little bit. So I'll go So we'll just do something like that, and we'll add some harmonies to it, and then we'll play with what is available where. So we'll pull out the harmonies, or we'll pull out the kick drum, or we'll pull out the hi-hat, or change the patterns or something like that throughout, and see if we can get something that would, even with this simple of a structure and setup, could be confused for a song. 2, 3, 4. So hopefully that wasn't a complete waste of time, and I've maybe earned your sub, and I'd love if you check out the Patreon as well. I want to say thanks to my patrons. They help make weird stuff like this happen. Interested in your opinions. If this gets some interest, I might make more weird little videos like this. Cheers and take care of yourself.